A couple finds a girl who looks like a human but is actually a bird. Let's start the movie without giving away any spoilers. At the beginning of the story, we see a man named David. He is the kind of guy who can sit for hours with binoculars and just watch birds. Every day, he studies how they move, how they eat, and how they care for their babies. One afternoon, David spots a mother bird feeding her chick on a high branch. The baby keeps its beak wide open, and the mom gently drops food inside. It is such a soft little moment that it almost feels like a lesson about love. A little later, David sits under that same tree to rest. Just then, he hears a strange sound from the bushes. It is like a bird call, but not quite. He steps closer and finds something that makes him freeze. Lying there is a tiny, human-shaped creature. Her face looks like a little girl, but where her arms should be, she has wings. Her whole body is smaller than a normal child, and she has feather-like textures on her skin. David is shocked, but he is not scared. Instead, he carefully brings her home. When his wife Tina sees her, she cannot believe her eyes. Tina says she has never seen anything like this. Her first instinct is to call the police, but David refuses. He says this is not really a normal human. He thinks the police will only make it worse. He asks Tina to let the little one stay for a while. If her real family shows up, then they will decide what to do. That night, David comes back and sees Tina already bonding with the girl. We learn David and Tina do not have children. So Tina looks at David and suggests something that changes everything. She wants to raise this winged girl like their own daughter. David agrees. From that day on, they commit to loving her and protecting her. They give her a sweet name, Pretty Bird. And without realizing it, they just built a family out of a miracle. The next days turn into a new routine. They feed Pretty Bird with a small bottle. Tina even sews tiny clothes for her. She designs them so the wings can stay hidden because she knows the outside world is not always kind to what it does not understand. Soon, they take her out for a short walk. Pretty Bird stays close, but a few people notice her right away. Someone asks whose child she is. David calmly says they adopted her. Another woman leans in and tries to grab the little girl like she is some strange toy. Tina does not argue. She simply turns and leaves fast. Time passes and Pretty Bird grows. Sometimes she flaps her wings and tries to lift off the ground. David and Tina watch with proud smiles. Their home feels peaceful, like the world finally gave them something good. One day, Pretty Bird tries to say mom and dad. Tina almost cries from happiness. She starts teaching her more words, but Pretty Bird struggles. At night, Tina admits she feels helpless. David gently reminds her that Pretty Bird is not exactly like them. Her voice may never work like a human voice. The truth hits even harder during dinner. Pretty Bird flies from the table and perches away from them. Tina calls her back, but she refuses. Then Pretty Bird spots a bug crawling nearby. She dives down and eats it without thinking. Tina realizes Pretty Bird does not eat like a child, so Tina brings her insects and bird feed. Still, Tina keeps hoping she will sit at the table and use a spoon. Pretty Bird cannot understand that dream. She is sweet, but she is still wild. A few days later, Tina takes her to a restaurant. Pretty Bird notices two birds trapped in a cage. Even though they are locked up, they flap their wings and play. Pretty Bird copies them right away. Tina panics. She pulls Pretty Bird into the bathroom and tells her to play quietly in there. Tina waits outside, anxious. Then a woman comes to use the restroom. Tina rushes in to manage the situation, but inside she finds only Pretty Bird's little shoes. The window is open. Pretty Bird has flown away and joined the birds outside. Tina comes home crushed and tells David everything. She admits he was right. Pretty Bird is not truly their daughter in the way Tina wanted. Tina stands by the window, grieving. David says she might not be far. They can still find her if they search now, so they run out into the city together. Meanwhile, Pretty Bird is flying high with a flock. For the first time, she looks totally free, but then a hard wind hits. Her small wings fight to balance, but the gust is too strong. She spins out of control and drops straight through an open window. She lands on a bed inside a house and cries out with her little eep-eep sound. A girl named Lucy hears it. Lucy lives with her dad, but he is always busy. He rarely gives her time and he often snaps at her. Lucy follows the sound and finds Pretty Bird. At first, Lucy is scared, but Pretty Bird looks more hurt than dangerous. Within minutes, they become friends. They play together, and Lucy finally feels seen. Suddenly, Lucy's dad walks toward the room. Lucy hides Pretty Bird fast. Her dad says bye and leaves for work. Lucy answers with a weird eep-eep sound on purpose, copying Pretty Bird so her dad will not suspect anything. While Lucy plays with her new secret friend, David and Tina search everywhere. They even go to the police, but no one can help. That night, they have no place to stay and end up sleeping under a big tree. In the morning, they meet Lucy in that same tree. She chats with them like it is normal. Tina jokes that what they are doing is a secret. Lucy smiles and says she has a secret too. She admits she has a winged girlfriend sitting up in the tree. David climbs up in a rush, but Pretty Bird is gone again. So David, Tina, and Lucy start searching together. A little later, Pretty Bird is back in the sky, but trouble finds her. A group of birds rushes her. They cannot figure out what she is, so they attack. Pretty Bird gets hit over and over and crashes onto a roof. People gather below and argue about what they saw. Some call her a bird, others say she is something magical. A team of officials arrives. One of them, a nervous man named Jack, climbs up to rescue her. He gets close and panics. In that second, Pretty Bird escapes again. The story hits the news fast. David sees it on a TV screen and realizes it is her. He and Tina and Lucy race to the place, but she is already gone. They track down Jack to ask where she flew. Jack says he thought an eagle took a child. David and Tina explain the truth. Their daughter has wings. Jack is stunned, but he agrees to help. So the four of them head out together, chasing the one girl who keeps choosing the sky. That evening, Pretty Bird reaches an abandoned house near the forest and sleeps there. David and Tina and Lucy and Jack sleep out in the open. At sunrise, they push forward again. They watch the treetops and listen for that eep-eep call. Soon they hear gunshots. Hunters are shooting birds nearby. Pretty Bird follows a bird into the danger and vanishes. Then Lucy sees something falling. It is Pretty Bird's little outfit, drifting down into a deep well. Everyone rushes over and looks inside. They promise they will save her. Jack falls apart. He insists an eagle took her and only the clothes are left. He cannot climb down. He sits and cries. David and Tina do not accept it. They tie a rope to a tree and send Lucy down to check. Lucy searches the dark water and finds only the clothes. She sends them up. The adults start walking away, thinking Pretty Bird ran off, but they forget Lucy is still down there. Lucy screams, but they are already far. Tina remembers and they race back. Tina climbs down and pulls Lucy out. Lucy is shaking from the cold water, so they take a small hotel room to warm her up. That night, a storm hits. Pretty Bird, soaked and weak, sneaks into the hotel. A boy staying there hears eep-eep under his bed and panics. Lucy crawls down and finds Pretty Bird hiding. Lucy wraps her in a blanket. The kids fall asleep close together. In the morning, Lucy runs for David and Tina. But when they arrive, Pretty Bird has flown away again. Tina refuses to stop. Lucy says she will stay behind this time and go home later. Tina wants to drag her along, but David lets Lucy choose. Tina hugs her goodbye, and you can feel the bond. On the road, they meet Lucy's father. He says his daughter is missing. Tina lies and says she does not know any Lucy. David tells the man he needs to care for his child. Jack breaks down again. Tina snaps and storms into the forest alone. David follows her, worried. That night, Jack hears eep-eep in the dark. He spots Pretty Bird tangled on a branch by a thin thread. Jack climbs up, cuts her free, and watches her fly away. In the morning, Jack says she is alive, but her wing is hurt. Then he leaves. David and Tina head toward the ocean, hoping they can reach her before the crossing. When they finally reach the coastline, they see it. Pretty Bird is up in the sky with a huge flock. For a second, David and Tina feel pure relief. They run along the shore, waving, trying to be close to her one more time, but the flock keeps moving toward the open water. Pretty Bird follows. David and Tina stop at the edge of the sea and watch her get smaller. Tina starts crying. She says she always knew this day would come, but it hurts that Pretty Bird did not even say goodbye. David tries to comfort her and says, "Birds do not think that way." Tina says Pretty Bird was not only a bird, she was their daughter. Out over the waves, Pretty Bird is struggling. One wing is still hurting and the wind is heavy. She flaps. She loses height. She flaps again. She keeps making that soft eep-eep call. The ocean is too loud and nobody hears her. Finally, she drops into the water. Tina steps toward a bus, trying to force herself to leave. But David looks at the sea and freezes. He thinks he saw something moving. David runs back to the shoreline. Tina runs after him. Floating on a piece of wood is Pretty Bird. She is barely holding on. David rushes into the surf, grabs her, and pulls her to safety. Tina holds her close and smiles through tears. They bring their girl home. Over the next days, Pretty Bird recovers. Tina stops trying to make her act like a normal human child. She lets her eat the way she eats. She plays flapping games with her, like a mom learning her child's language. Life becomes warm again. The house fills with quiet little moments. But one morning, Pretty Bird goes to the window and stares outside. The sky is calling her back. Tina breaks down, but she understands love is not a cage. David says they cannot hold her here. So, they take her to a wide field. They hold her tight one last time. Then they lift her up. Pretty Bird spreads her wings and rises into the air. She circles once above them, then heads toward the distant flock. David and Tina stand there with wet eyes and proud hearts. And the story ends with freedom and a love that never really leaves.